Our story today has a few key parts. The first is the observation that there's a market today where over 1 billion customers are clamoring for attention and largely being ignored. The second is that we've built a solution that delivers extraordinary results at scale and earns customer love. And the third is that our solution is already being adopted by some of the world's largest companies and most popular apps. So let's start this off with the simple observations. We are obsessed with our smartphones. Over 1 billion of us use them constantly. And how do we use them? Well, we're using apps. And who makes these apps? Companies. Companies like Nordstrom and Rovio and Yahoo. They recognize the business value of connecting with us on the most personal devices that we've ever owned. But when we want to talk back to them, when we have a question or a problem, where do we end up? The App Store. This is a wall between us and the companies. We use our ratings and our reviews to talk back. But how frustrating is this? We never hear back, and it's not clear if anybody's listening at all. From the company's perspective, this is even worse. They don't have any context, they don't have any ability to respond, and they know that every new customer sees this. From their perspective, the feedback in the App Store is about as useful as graffiti on a wall. This is a huge communication failure, and this is where we come in. I'd like to introduce you to Matthew, who's here today from Urban Spoon. Urban Spoon has over 20 million app downloads, so there's a pretty good chance you already have their phone on your app, or their app on your phone, which means that you already have Apptentive in your pocket. Now, before Apptentive, this is what greeted Matthew in the App Store. There's no further detail, just a complaint. There's no way for Matthew to know that this customer is frustrated because they're in St. Louis and trying to reserve a restaurant time. And he couldn't get back to them and say they already know about that issue and they're working on it. With our SDK and the 2-line code change, Urban Spoon turned their app into a communications channel. So, for example, they can proactively reach out and find out how that customer is feeling. And that customer, instead of writing a nasty review, stays in the app and speaks directly with Urban Spoon. Now, Urban Spoon loves this because it turns it into a personal conversation. And like any good personal conversation, it brings with it understanding, like the fact that the customer is in St. Louis. And the understanding flows both ways because now the customer knows that they're aware of the problem and that Urban Spoon's working on it. This conversation actually requires follow-up, so it's very easy for Matthew to add them to a group for the launch in a few weeks. Now, fast forward a few weeks. Matthew and the team, they launch in St. Louis. In a couple of minutes, they send a note to everybody in that group. Let's see what the customer sees. The next time they open up the app, there's a badge that directs them to the message center, powered by Apptentive, where they're greeted with a personal and flattering message. It communicates. You were listened to, your issue is addressed, and you were remembered. So the customer responds, wow, thank you, I love you guys. Urban Spoon just earned the love of a customer who would have otherwise been a vocal critic. When was the last time that you had this kind of experience with a company, much less in an app? This is the power of personal communications and customer relationships at scale. This power delivers extraordinary results. For Urban Spoon, it means that their app, which had a lifetime average of 3.5 stars, has been pegged at 5 stars since using Apptentive. It means that they're getting over 11 times the daily reviews, and they're feeling the love. People are 50% more likely to use the word love when they talk about the company in the App Store. With this product and these results, we are confident that we've nailed the solution to a universal problem. We're excited to be working with companies like Yahoo and CBS and Decide and hundreds of others who want these results and they care about communicating with their customers. Over the past 30 days or so, we've been putting our first enterprise contracts for thousands of dollars a month in front of people. And generally speaking, the response is, let's get started. This is just the beginning. You see, mobile is really special. With over 6 billion people with mobile subscriptions and 1 billion smartphones, it's no wonder that over 50% of the Fortune 500 already has an app. We are building the tools for all of them to talk with their customers. And our ambition is to drive personal customer relationships for the whole world. So today I've shared with you that we're already working with some of the world's largest companies, driving extraordinary results and earning customer love. The last part of our story is really the most important. It's our team. Our team is about relationships and experience. We've known one another for over a decade. Our backgrounds give us deep expertise in mobile, in building large-scale communication systems, and working with corporate leaders and marketers to understand what they crave from their customer relationships. Our team is more than just these people. It is the people who are investing in growing this business. When we set out at the beginning of this TechStars journey, we wanted to raise $600,000. Today I'm delighted to share with you that we find ourselves oversubscribed. Working with Chris and Andy and Founders Co-op, working with the folks from Social Leverage, working with many of Seattle's most sort of well-known angels, as well as people who can really help us grow this business, we're tremendously excited about the future. Together, we are driving the future of customer relationships. Thank you.